ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नीत्यां भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्ठकी। So we are reading from chapter 2, which is named as Contents of the Gita Summarized, Shlok 41. Vyavashaya Atmika Buddhi Eka Iha Kuru Nandana Bahu Shakha I Anantaha Cha Buddhaya Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Kuru Nandana Bhaushaka hi Anantascha Buddhayo Avyavashayinam. So we go for what for? Anybody else want to read the shlok? Vyavashayatmika Buddhi Ekaha Gurunandana Bahushakari Anantascha Buddhayo Avyasayam. So word for word translation. Vyavashaya Atmika, resolute in Krishna consciousness. Buddhihi, intelligence. Eka, only one. Iha, in this world. Kurunandana, O beloved child of the Kurus. Bahushakaha, having various branches. He, indeed. Anantaha, unlimited. Cha, also. Buddhayaha, intelligence. Avyasvasainam, of those who are not in Krishna consciousness. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. Please repeat after me. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. So the purport by Srila Prabhupada, a strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavashatmika intelligence. The Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Madhya 22.62 states, Madhya Lila 22.62, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasha Kahe Shudra Nischaya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Kritahaya. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. When one is engaged in the duties of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligations to family traditions, humanity, or nationality. Fruitive activities are the engagements of one's reactions from past good or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane, for they are no longer subject to dualities like good and bad. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. The resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. A person in Krishna consciousness is the rare good soul who knows perfectly that Vasudeva or Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. As by watering the root of a tree, one automatically distributes water to the leaves and branches, so by acting in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Krishna is satisfied by one's actions, then everyone will be satisfied. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master who is a bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. As such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna, and one should accept the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayers for the spiritual master as follows. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado, yasya prasadan na gati kutopi, dhyayan stuvam tasya yasya stri sandhyam, vande guru shri charanaravinda. By satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul, beyond conception of the body, not theoretically, but practically. When there is no when there is no longer a chance for sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities, one who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of activities. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishadhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So welcome everybody to this class. Hare Krishna to everyone. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru Gauranga. So today we are discussing a very, very important verse, which is from the 2nd chapter, Shlok 41. This verse is so practical, yet so spiritual, because it addresses one of our greatest challenges. How to remain focused and determined on the path of Krishna consciousness in a world that is full of distractions. In this verse, Krishna speaks of 2 kinds of intelligence. Vyavashatmika buddhi. This is that intelligence of a person who is in Krishna consciousness. One-pointed, resolute, is determined spiritual intelligence. And the second intelligence that Krishna is talking about is avyavashainam buddhi. It is scattered, multi-branched, material intelligence. It wants to be here, there, and everywhere at the same time. So let us explore what this means for us practicing devotees. What is Vyavashatmika? The word Vyavashatmika comes from Vyavashaya, which means determination, resoluteness, firm conviction. Krishna is saying that a devotee fixed on the path of bhakti has only one goal, that is to please Krishna. Srila Prabhupada explains, the goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead, full of Vrindavan. Therefore, every action, every thought, every plan of a devotee is directed towards this one aim, and one aim only, to please Krishna. A person with such determination is not shaken by temptations, by difficulties, or by alternate paths. He's like Arjuna. When his Guru asked him, Guru Dronacharya asked him during the contest of hitting the bird's eye, he asked Arjuna, what do you see? First he asked other warriors, Bhim, Yudhishthir, and so many others. So one of them said, I see a tree, I see some fruits, I see the bird. But Arjuna said, I only see the eye. That is one-pointed intelligence, determination. And that's the only way he could hit the target. This is why all the other competitors show the tree, fruits, and other distractions. Similarly, a devotee says, I see only Krishna. Everything else does not matter, it's secondary. This is Vyavashatmika Buddhi. The intelligence of one who is surrendered to Krishna and fixed in his service. So, how does one develop Vyavashatmika Buddhi? It's easier said than done. How can we get so determined? How can we get that intelligence? So, the first thing is faith. But then again, we say, how do we develop that faith? So first Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Shloka 9.3, Ashradana dhana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nirvantante mrityu samsara vartamani. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me. O conqueror of enemies, therefore they return to the path of birth, death in this material world. So there are four problems in the material world, which is birth, death, old age, and disease. We all have to go through those. We have to be born, we have to die, we have to get old, and we will get sick. That is inevitable. There is no other way from that. So this is where Krishna is saying that if you don't have the faith in devotional service, there is no chance of you understanding this knowledge. And that chapter, the name is the most confidential knowledge. So in the slok, just at the beginning, he's saying without faith, there is no way you can understand that. Prabhupada says that with a strong faith in Krishna consciousness, one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life, Krishna Prem. This is Vyavashatmika Buddhi. He knows that just by doing Krishna Bhakti, everything will fall in place. So that's faith. Second, knowledge. This resoluteness, this determination, this Vyavashatmika Buddhi is achieved by two types of knowledge. The first one, Atma Gyan. What is Atma? The soul. Gyan, knowledge. Perfect knowledge of the soul. We should know that we are beyond this body. Soul is neither born nor it ever dies. It is eternal and ever existing. One should know that the soul is indestructible. It can never be destroyed by any weapon, burned by fire, moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up old and useless ones. A sober person is never bewildered by such a change. So once you understand that you're the soul and not the body, a lot of bewilderment that we have in this material world will automatically go away. When somebody passes away, a devotee will not really be shaken up. He will be, it's part and parcel. We've changed our body millions of times, since time immemorial, and he's just moved on to another body. In fact, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that why are you so worried about killing your guru or killing your grandfather, Bhishma Pitama? They can never die. He was always there, he's here, and he's always going to be here. The soul is never going to be dead. It can never be destroyed. The second is perfect knowledge of Vasudeva Krishna. Lord Brahma says in Brahma Samhita 5.1, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sakchetananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. I remember Anandas Prabhu said this, that a devotee first should know. Somebody asks you that, okay, so who is Krishna? And this is the one shlok, is the gold standard. Everything is here. So let me tell you the meaning of this. Krishna who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin. And He is the prime cause of all causes. For me, the few words are very, very striking. Has an eternal, spiritual body. That is very important. And since I have joined ISKCON, and I mentioned this a couple of times as well, that I felt Prabhupada repeating so many times, personalism, personalism, personalism. At one point I asked Anand Das Prabhu, why Prabhupada repeating this so many times? And Anand Das Prabhu said, Hoshil Prabhu said, that you will understand why. Wait, let's spend some more time here. And I started realizing that everything around us, all the spiritual paths are all impersonal. Everything is impersonal. Nobody believes that God has a eternal, blissful spiritual body. Second, origin of all. Everything comes from Him. Anadir Adir Govinda. He has no origin. And He's the prime cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karana. So, this is a must-know shlok for all devotees. And this is your savior when you know this shlok. Somebody asks you, who is Krishna? So a person who understands Krishna as the cause of all causes is very rare. Only devotees can understand Krishna. These are people with Vyavashatmika buddhi. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, shlok 8, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So there you go. It's very clear here. You are worshipping Krishna with all your heart because you know who He is. So, Vyavashatmika buddhi. In chapter 10, shlok 8, he repeats, he says again, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So, what is Krishna saying here? That He is present as Paramatma in your heart and He'll give you knowledge from within. This is the knowledge that we're talking about. So, if we get started, Krishna will automatically show us the way. He will show us the direction. And furthermore, chapter 10, shlok 11, to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Light, knowledge, darkness, ignorance. So again he's saying, I'll give you the knowledge from within. So that's the knowledge that we are seeking. We can only attain knowledge of Krishna by hearing. Hearing is our most powerful and subtle sense. Hearing of the Bhagavad Gita and the Shriman Bhagavatam from devotees is the perfect way to learn about Krishna. The third point, so faith, knowledge, intelligence. So with knowledge, we can get determined intelligence. Vyavashatmika buddhi. Krishna emphasizes that determination is essential for success in bhakti yoga. As an unfocused mind is easily diverted by countless distractions. Distractions are common in attaining our goals, but one overcomes them with determined intelligence. Intelligence is a crucial aspect of our being, but it often wavers when faced with distractions. For this, I have a perfect example in the Janmashtami play. Mataji had done the Kali play, and Kali Yuga is having so much influence on the children, and it shows how that person's mind is wavered, and the mind would not let him settle down with social media, mobile phones, TV. Everything is a distraction here. Everything material is a spiritual distraction. But once that person, that child started getting knowledge and intelligence, that mind calmed down. And now the mind worked in his favor. And the mind, instead of him diverting the mind, is pulling him down to settle him down in bhakti. So that's a very good example that I remember in Janmashtami, the play. So intelligence is a crucial aspect of our being, but it often wavers when faced with distractions. For example, a student who intends to study for an exam may struggle with focus, thinking, maybe I'll watch a football match, take a nap, or chat on social media. Go ahead. So I'd rather watch a football match, take a nap, chat on social media for a while. Little does he know that that little while has taken all his precious time. These distractions arise because the mind seeks breaks and diversions. Krishna explains that those who are resolute develop one-pointed intelligence, while those who lack determination have scattered, multi-branched intelligence. Indirectly, Krishna is pointing out to Arjuna that his intelligence has become fragmented. He is caught in indecision, wondering, should I fight? Should I not fight? Krishna urges him not to let his mind waver, but to remain fixed in his purpose. Another very important point Prabhupada is explaining, importance of a spiritual master. Bhakti is doing all activities for the pleasure of Krishna and not for our sense gratification. We therefore need to practice bhakti under the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master. There is no other way. This is very important. If I can get mercy of Guru, and if my Guru is pleased with me, Krishna is also pleased with me. If Guru does not give mercy, if he is not pleased with me, Krishna will also not give mercy. He will not accept our service. Therefore, one should accept instructions of a spiritual master as one's mission in life. He should follow the instructions as it is, 100%. And that is our objective. Prabhupada says in the purport that the Guru is a bona fide representative of Krishna. We should not look at the Guru anyhow, any different from Krishna. Srila Prabhupada is the greatest example of this. At the age of 69, he boarded a cargo ship. There are no luxuries in the cargo ship at all. Suffered heart attacks, 2 heart attacks, I believe, and had no support. He had gone to the US with some $8 worth of Indian rupees or something. And he hardly knew anyone there. But he had one pointed determination. My Guru Maharaj, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, ordered me to preach in the West in English, and I must fulfill his order. This is Vyavashatmika Buddhi. So, talking about the other side of things, so we talked about Vyavashatmika Buddhi. So what are the dangers of Avyavashaya, the multi-branched material intelligence? Krishna warns us of the opposite direction. Avyavashaya is irresolute, scattered, not determined intelligence, and material intelligence. And in that shloka there is a word anantaha. That is very significant. Ananta means infinite desires. Infinite. There is no end to that material desire. And we all experience this. When we look at it, there's something that we really want to do. Okay, so I always said that, say for example, a holiday, that we want to go a holiday. For me, the fun was in doing research for a holiday, to checking the places and the hotels and all the so on and so forth. But once I start going on the holiday started, I feel that my fun, my happiness is reducing. It's continuous reducing. Towards the end of the holiday, okay, holiday is finished, now we have to go back to the grind. And like that, everything that you want to buy, you buy a car, say a brand new car, you're really excited about that car. But once you get the car and you've driven it for 3-4 months, okay, it's normal. And you're looking more. So that anantaha desires, more and more. We want to go materially, more and more. And it never ends. It's like there is a fire and the desires is the wood. That fire can never die down. It's continuously burning and more burning. It will never die down. Even a 70, 80-year-old person, an old man, his desires can never end. It is continuous, ever-fueling, self-fueling material desires. Such a person is compared to a tree with many branches. And the other example, the opposite example, is a coconut tree. It's straight, it's one-pointed, knows what it's doing. So many directions, so many desires, so many plans, but none of them ultimately will lead you to Krishna. That is the spirituality that is here. We may see this in our own lives. One day I want to focus on chanting. Another day I want to chase money. Another day I want fame. Another day I want sense enjoyment. I want to play better. This is Bahushaka, many branched desires. It is never going to lead you to Krishna. Prabhupada says that this kind of intelligence never brings us peace, because we are always running here and there. Just like a bee that keeps going on from one flower to another. It never settles down, never satisfied. A person with scattered intelligence cannot taste the nectar of devotion. There's another example I remember very well. The difference between materialism and spirituality. So, say there is, after a long time, 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a mango season has started. And you're so excited, you've not eaten a mango, sweet mango, you are excited about eating the mango. You say, I will eat 10 mangoes today. So the first mango, you get the highest satisfaction. Oh, that was amazing, amazing, amazing. Second, you will get a little bit less. If you reach third or fourth, eventually you will see, if I see this mango, I will vomit. That's materialism. Spirituality is completely opposite. In spirituality, you taste it, you get more enticed with it, more attraction, more happiness, more satisfaction. And the more you do, the more satisfaction. It is like digging the treasure. The more deeper you go, and the more treasures, jewels you are exploring, you're finding out. So, practical application in bhakti. What does this mean for us practically? I'm saying this because this new generation is practical. Everybody wants, okay, this is all fine, this is all theory. How does this apply to us? That's significant. It means we should make our goal clear, to serve Krishna with love and devotion. When we chant, our determination should be, I will chant attentively for Krishna's pleasure. When we serve in the temple, our determination should be, this service is for Krishna, not my self-ego. When difficulties come, our determination should be, I will not give up the path of bhakti. And difficulties will come. Yesterday, we had a lecture from Raghunath Bhatt from Durban, South Africa. And he said, Krishna will test you, and that test will be different for everyone. And the second test will be even different. Again, will be different for you. It will try. He will see how determined are you. How much do you want him? He will test you. Because of this determination, we are all sitting here today in this temple, chanting and hearing about Krishna. This is the power of one-pointed spiritual focus. Here are some examples I would like to mention to illustrate Shatmika Buddhi. The best example is Srila Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was born of a Muslim family and very, very devoted. He was doing Harinam, 300,000 names of Krishna every day. If you really calculate that, that's probably chanting more than 20 hours, 22 hours a day. And no matter what, he only chanted and never let it go. One-pointed intelligence. The king sent a prostitute to distract him. And Haridas Thakur was a devotee, so he made her sit there. He said, whatever is your desire, I'll fulfill it. But for now, I have made a promise that I have to complete my rounds. So why don't you sit? And Haridas Thakur was chanting the whole night. The lady was waiting. And she fell asleep. And the next day she came back again. And I think that happened for 3 days. Eventually the lady became a devotee because she was listening of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra from a pure devotee like Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was arrested, punished, he was hit. The people who are hitting him got tired. They felt sorry for him. And they said that if you don't die, then we will lose. They'll kill our families. We will die. They'll kill us. So Haridas Thakur acted as if he was dead. And that was possible with all the mystic powers. And then he went, they threw him in, I think, in the ocean. And he came back on the other side and woke up again and continued chanting. He was not distracted by anything. Second example, imagine if you are rowing a canoe And both our hands are rowing in different directions. One is spiritual, one is material, going the opposite way. What's going to happen to the canoe? It's just going to go round and round. It's not going to go neither forwards nor backwards. It's just going to turn round and round in the same spot. This is telling us that we cannot progress spiritually if we have material desires. I hear many people say that, we want to come to the temple so that our children can be good human beings. So the core is material, and spirituality is fitting somewhere, wherever there is space. It's completely wrong. The core and only core, the only thing we are supposed to do is serve Krishna, spirituality. And material, wherever there is space, will fit in for just as far as our prescribed duties are for this material world based on our abilities. Nothing more than that. Actually, we should have a mentality where spirituality is our core. The only purpose is to please and serve Krishna. I remember an example that Anandas Prabhuji gave regarding a wedding group. So in India, the weddings used to happen at night and something like that. So they were walking along, and then there was a water body, a lake or a river. They reached there, and they had hired a big boat to take them across to the destination across the lake. It was night time, so as soon as they boarded the boat, they all fell asleep at the wedding party. In the morning, they saw the boatman sweating and tired. However, they soon realized that the boat had not moved anywhere. It is where it was. They eventually realized that the boatman had forgotten to lift the anchor. The meaning of this is that if we continue to be anchored firmly to our material desires, how can we ever progress in our spiritual life? I have a great personal experience of this verse in my own life. So initially I used to come to the temple. We used to come at 8:15. We used to come at 8:20, the Dwar of Bhagwan open in the evening. And we used to find amazing seeing Bhagwan and do darshan. There was no philosophy, there was no knowledge, multi-branched intelligence here, there and everywhere. The only thing that satisfied us was that we have seen Bhagwan. Something was happy in our heart. That we continued for a certain time. We had stopped onion and garlic. But that was always going to fail. It was always going to fail. The reason was very simple, that there was no underlying philosophy. There was no one-pointed intelligence. So we failed. We went back to the onion and garlic, and we went back to the material world, because Krishna had probably seen in our desire that there was materialism, material desires left. So go and clear that off, or go and enjoy it whilst you want. After feeling materially exhausted, 2 to 3 years later, I started coming back to the temple. I started attaining the spiritual wisdom through association of devotees like Anandas Prabhuji or Shil Prabhuji. My mentality became very resolute in Krishna consciousness. I became anxious only to serve Krishna, and any activity where Krishna was not in the center, I rejected. With this determined intelligence, we progressed in Krishna consciousness gradually. The only thing that was in my mind is, it's a simple thing. How do you differentiate between what to do, what not to do? Simple. Is Krishna in there? Is Krishna in the center of that activity? Yes, we will do it. If he's not, thanks but no thanks. And we move on. So, let's get even more practical. How do we develop this? We have understood faith, we have understood knowledge, we have understood intelligence, spiritual master. Let's get even more practical than that. How to develop Vyavashatmika Buddhi in this age? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions were as follows. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nashti eva, gatir anyatha. This is a very important shloka. This is another shloka devotees must know. What does it mean? It says, in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. In this sloka, he repeats Hare Nama and Nasti Eva 3 times. This is signifying how important the meaning of this message is. Kali Yuga, we cannot do anything else. We have very short lives. 100 years is the life that has been described in the scriptures, but I don't think we live 100 years. Our minds, our forgetfulness is very, we forget everything. We don't remember anything. For doing yajna, we don't have the true Brahmins. So those are not prescribed. So the only way is Harinam Sankirtana, which is the congregational chanting of Harinam. That is the only way of getting deliverance in this Kali Yuga. So, what do? Strong sadhana. Fixed daily chanting of 16 rounds. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Attentive chanting. If you read the offense, the 10th offense, it is also offense to be inattentive while chanting. So keeping those offenses in mind, we should chant with a lot of concentration over 16 rounds, what Prabhupada, with his mercy, has prescribed to us. Second, hearing and reading of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. I always say, and I quote Anandas Prabhu, that in the temple, you're getting paki pakai khichdi, ready cooked khichdi. You don't have to go and look for the chawal, the rice, the mung beans, or the ghee, or the salt or water. The khichdi is ready. The only thing we need to do is bring our plate and get served and eat the khichdi. So that's the Bhagavad Gita lectures that we have in the temple. This is very significant. I mean, I feel personally I have progressed a lot by hearing the Bhagavad Gita from devotees. Every day, Monday to Friday and Saturday, in the evenings, we have the Bhagavad Gita classes. Must visit. We are getting ready served khichdi. Second, association of devotees. Sangha keeps us steady. Association is, again, we come to the temple, automatically you are associating with devotees. You will get devotee mercy. Somewhere, somehow, you will get instructions. You will get clarity. Very important. Third, service to Guru and Krishna. Service strengthens conviction. So, Bhakti Yoga is service of Krishna. And we can use our individual abilities. Somebody is very good at cooking. Somebody is very good in singing. Somebody is making very good malas. And so on and so forth. So many services in the temple. Engage yourself in that service. That is crucial. And finally, prayer. Beg Krishna for determination. I remember a realization when I heard Devki Mataji, who had come. She was a German lady, very senior devotee. And she said that when you are chanting, you should be crying to Krishna for mercy. That should be your mood. That should be your mood. That I am stuck in this material hole. How will I come out of this? What is the way? Please help me. Beg for his mercy. That is the mood for our chanting. We should pray like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Oh Lord, give me the strength to remain fixed in your service without distraction. Conclusion. To conclude, Krishna tells us in this verse that if we want success in spiritual life, we must have one pointed determination. Our intelligence should not be divided amongst countless material desires, but fixed in Krishna alone, on Krishna alone. Let us pray for Ravashatmika Buddhi. That intelligence that never wavers from the path of devotion. Then no matter what challenges come, we will remain steady and Krishna will surely take us back to his eternal abode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody has any questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.